How are you doing today? Hope you're having a fantastic day. Thanks for tuning in. What I want to talk to you about today is basically for those of us who are either looking to put a new garden in a new location, or maybe you're just starting your first garden for the very first time. It can be a little daunting. It seems like there's a lot of things that go into it, especially if you're watching videos like mine that involve gardening styles such as aquaponics, hydroponics, or any of the high-tech stuff that's going on right now. It can really seem like, wow, overwhelmed. I just don't even know where to begin. So there are some really basic things that you need to deal with when you're first starting a garden. And I just want to cover a couple of those today so that, as I've said in previous videos, maybe you don't have to stumble where I did. I think one of the most important things when you're first starting out gardening in general, start small. Last year is the perfect example with my peppers. I went completely overboard. I grew 27 different varieties of peppers. I had over 80 containers in my yard, most of them with peppers in it. That is not starting small. But this isn't my first year gardening either. If you're just getting started, find a couple of things that you like. Maybe you really like jalapeno peppers, so grow a couple of those in containers. Make it a mobile garden, because if you're just starting out, you're not sure where that sun's going to shine best and brightest for your most hours in your growing season. Something I found can be really helpful when I'm moving into a new neighborhood, and this was the perfect example of this. I moved to a small town in Saskatchewan where I learned possibly one of the most valuable things a gardener can ever learn, especially when they're moving into a new neighborhood, and that is look at the gardens around you. Talk to your neighbors. Find out what grows well in your neighborhood. I live in a small town now, nowhere near as small as the one I lived in the prairies, but still, growing conditions can be different on the north side of town and on the south side of town. One thing that can be really helpful is just take the time to talk to your neighbors. A, it's good to introduce yourself. It helps build a sense of community. And B, by talking to your neighbors about what's already growing in the neighborhood, you'll find out what other gardeners have found already works. Maybe tomato is not your best bet for this neighborhood. Maybe a pepper is not your best bet. Maybe they've got something for you that's similar to it and will work phenomenally well. So it can be really good to talk to your neighbors. They've gone there before you. Why not learn from their experience? When you're looking to establish a garden of your own, it can be helpful to wander around a neighborhood and look for some older, more established gardens. If you can find something that's still around from when everybody had a victory garden, those are the items that you're going to want to grow. These are the things that have been proven in your area time and time and time again, and the established, mature, dedicated gardeners make sure that they're there because they will grow. So that is a really good place for you to start. If you notice in 15 different gardens there is no lettuce, that might be a clue. If you notice that no one has broccoli, that might be a clue. If you notice that everybody seems to grow pumpkins in your neighborhood, that might be a clue. So if you want to have a successful garden when you're first starting out, look around and see what's already being successful. Gardening can be a wonderful opportunity to try new and different foods, and the fact that you've grown it yourself somehow makes it all the more enjoyable. That being said, when you're first starting out, grow things you're gonna want to eat. If you've never tried okra before, maybe you shouldn't start there. Something else to consider when you're first starting your garden is if you're watching this video, then clearly you've got access to the internet. Think about what you want to grow. Research it. Find out what kind of soil it needs. Find out what kind of light it needs. Does it need to be watered once a week? Does it need to be watered once a day? Can it go for weeks without water at all? It's important to know what your plant needs so that you can provide for it and that it can provide for you. I've got 2 more points I'm going to mention here and then I'm going to let you go. Gardening, some people seem to think that it's a waste of time, a waste of energy, a waste of money. They went out, they got the seeds, they built themselves a garden, and it didn't pay for itself in the first year. What a waste. I heard about this book called The $60,000 Tomato, where this gardener went out and they went just crazy, and they put so much money into it, and they got like 1 tomato plant. So they think gardening is a waste of time. Well, maybe that garden was a waste of time. But if you start small and grow things you want to eat, then it's not going to be a waste of time. If you start small, you're not spending $60,000 on your garden. You're spending maybe $6,000. maybe 20. You know, I bought a new shovel this week. I bought a pack of seeds. You don't need to go to the hardware store and clear it out. If you've got the money to do that, and you want to do that, and you're that excited, I'm still going to tell you, don't do it. You're going to find yourself overwhelmed with the garden that you've got to deal with. It's just a bad idea. That's all I can say about that. It's just a bad idea. Things for your garden are going to cost money. It's not a free food solution. It's a cheaper food solution. It's a great hobby. It's a wonderful, healthy activity, but it is not free food. Your garden is an investment. It's a good investment. You can buy a package of, carrot seeds for 99 cents that have got like 1,000 seeds in there. There's no way you're going to buy 1,000 carrots for 99 cents. But okay, now you've made the investment of your 99 cents, we'll say $1. And you've gone out there, but you've got to wait 70, 80, 90 days for these to mature before you can eat them. So you're putting your money in the ground and you're waiting for your return. It's an investment. That's all there is to it. If you're building a garden where the soil isn't of any decent quality, you're going to have to invest in compost. You're going to want to build raised beds, or you're going to want to put them in containers. My greenhouse, poorly, cheaply built that it is, has still cost me a lot of money. It's cost me so much for these 3 little hoop houses that I've built that I might as well have just bought a greenhouse kit. But I'm a project guy, and the project is the adventure to me. Finally, I think the most important point is, if you really want a garden, if you really want to enjoy the freshest, best tasting produce you've ever had in your life, never give up. If you failed this year, who cares? Go on next year and try again. Think about the things that you did wrong and go, okay, well, this didn't work, so I should do it differently. This didn't work, I should do it differently. Or this did work. What am I going to do differently to make it work better? I learned so much from my pepper obsession this year. The peppers that I'm going to grow next year are going to be phenomenal by comparison. And as it is, my cupboards, I've got 4, 5, I've got lots of jars of dried powdered peppers that are going to more than see me through until next year's harvest. That being said, I'm still going to grow more peppers. Why? I like peppers. It's good. Variety is the spice of life. So, in summary, remember to start small. Talk to your neighbors. Look around your neighborhood. See what's already growing. Remember, it's an investment, so it's going to take time to produce any quality returns. Remember to grow things that you're going to want to eat. Remember to take the time to research your plants and never give up. Well, everybody, that's it from my greenhouse for now. Until we talk again, I hope you have a fantastic day. Happy gardening, and remember, keep on growing.